on point led. Floozy claimed it. Still there on the outside was Heroic Miss, but now Floozy goes into another gear. Heads for the run of the judge. A widening margin. She's not cheap, Floozy. She's classy. Floozy first.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, Brisvegas edition. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got John Walter here with me on the sunny Gold Coast. It's drying weather up in Queensland, which is good news, but it's 5 mil Friday, 5 mil Saturday, so nasty little shower. John.
It's all right, don't they? They'd water the guts out of the track anyway, so it might stop them watering it, so who knows. Anyway, mate, it never rains up here. I attest to it. Even though we play golf the other day on a heavy 8, I think they left the sprinklers on.
We had 38 mud balls on Tuesday playing golf, but yeah, it's either going to be a soft 6 or a good 3. GK joins us again. How are you, brother?
Yep, very well.
What about you? Well, let's talk about last week. It was a tricky week, and Floozy, I guess, was probably the pin-up result for us. Cool Archie, you made a bit of a case for that, Walt, and it was sort of a bit of a 2-bet play. And then Jettabil was a bit of a filthy second.
City of Lights
didn't
Hawkesbury
really
in the
see
2-minute form. We should have just stuck to the 2-minute form at Hawkesbury. City of Lights was good.
And then Statuario was another second as well. So it was a tough day at the office. But GK, any horses to follow from that meeting last week? Or what's your big standout Black Booker?
Oh, look, I think, Floozy's going around this weekend. I just think that it's obviously just on a huge upward spiral and it's currently pretty short in the silver stocking. I'm not sold about it at the price at this stage, but just the way it's progressing, just indicates that it's headed for, stakes grade. And I think probably to winning a stakes grade race up here. I think out of the 2-year-olds, I think we can continue to follow Talk to Be Sure. They rode it very cold, and look, I just think, Cool Archie had the fitness edge there, but I think out in distance, I think that horse is still going to progress, and I just like the way it settled. It looked like the greenness we'd seen in the previous preparation. Looks like Dunn has resolved some of those issues.
I agree with most of those sentiments, and yeah, you can just see Golan's got the score on the board really with horses like Zarastro. He sort of rebirths him a bit, not like a little bit like Bjorn, but he's got a fair few panels on a few of the trainers up here. Golan, he's got a fair lead. I thought your horse went pretty well, Our Benefactor, but
yeah, I thought it was given a great ride.
None. Yeah, it wasn't a great ride.
None. There was a few given none.
Yeah,
one in.
That's some messy rides.
Yeah.
It's a strange ride.
Strange.
Yeah.
It's such a momentum. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. Track that's it's important and it's tricky sometimes.
Yeah, and I think it's just a bit shifty. They're doing well to get through it, given the weather we've had up here, and it's just a really a strange surface at the moment. Eagle Farm, some horses are getting through it, and others just are resenting it completely. So there's going to be some topsy-turvy results, and with weather continuing to be around, you just keep looking at the forecast, and it feels like we're in Sydney because there's just more rain around race day. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a frustration, but yeah, we'll get through it and we'll do our best. So we're operating on a drying, I'd say soft 5, possible 4, but if the rain does hit at the Gold Coast, I think it's going to be a 6 and it could even be a 7. So it is a bit of a mystery, but we'll do our best here today. Adelaide looks okay. Gosford's got a little bit of rain. We're going to do race 2 at the Gold Coast, then we're going to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at the Gold Coast, and then we've got Morphettville race 8. It's the Goodwood, and then much to Walt's discuss, we're going to do the Gosford Coast race, which is a 1,600 metre race because New South Wales love them, but it's restricted to 3 and 4-year-olds, and it's only $500,000, so they're probably $1 million light, but maybe the purse strings are starting to tighten down in New South Wales.
Exactly. And only 2 of the last 3 meetings have been called off at Gosford, so that adds a bit of spice to it. There's about 25 dual acceptors. There'll be about 40 scratchings, and then you got to just hope for the best. So, I'm looking forward to it. You can hear it, can't you? You can feel it. You can feel it in my bones.
Thank God for Queensland. We've got it going up here and we've got plenty of tracks to play with. So let's firstly look at race number 2 at the Gold Coast. And I like one here, and I think the conditions of the track won't really affect this horse. I just think it's airborne, but look at the market first. Metal Art's the favourite here, $3.40. John Rambo, $3.60. $6 Town Crier, he's having $8. Margarell, $12. Beau Rumble, $14. And then you got Calico Jack, $21. Fat Fingers is the same quote. Much, much better the rest. And the horse I like here is John Rambo. It's got barrier 11, so it's going to be in a similar spot here. You got Town Crier in the black and the green, the proven thoroughbred colours. And Johnny Rambo just stalls into this race and goes absolutely whack here and just wins so easily. His first up win in the wrong part of the track was so impressive, and he's put it together here. And Bohemian Lads there chasing him into second with the red and white candy sort of stripes. He failed yesterday, but I think it was more so the track being a little bit firm for him. But I think he's just a brand new horse this time, John Rambo. And the good thing here, you've got His Heaven from 5. It's been just given its head lately, and it just bores along in front, which is perfect, sets up a really good speed here. And then you've got horses like Town Crier from 2 and Margarell in barrier 4. There's going to be a really strong tempo here, and Johnny Rambo's just going to smoke his pipe. And Walt's favourite jockey, Martin Harley's just going to sit probably 3 or 4 pairs back. And I just think the gallop's going to be strong enough here. And with 58 kilos, he's just still a horse that I think at benchmark 85 grade over this 1,200 metres, he's just completely unlocked him this preparation, Golan, and he's the master at this. Once he gets a horse into sort of their rhythm, he picks the right sort of races and he can string results along. So $3.60, you might get $4 given a negative map, but I think he's one of the better bets on the day. GK?
Yeah, look, it's a pretty thin race, I thought. At present, I'm not really that keen to bet. Just Metal Art first up. It's only a short break since the summer. I thought the trial was really quiet. Like, Rod didn't even move on it in the trial, but I thought that was nice. It was what you want to see. Those two really picked themselves. I probably have a slight lean to Metal Art just because I think the grades that Rambo is coming out of, they're not very strong. Like, there was that No Metro, then there was that race you shown there. I don't know the strength of those, where I think that some of the form lines of Metal Art, especially towards the end of last prep, I certainly prefer. But at this stage, no bet. I just want some more information before I get involved.
Well,
I got plenty to input here. They were at Kentucky Derby the other day, found the trifecta of Mr. Racing. They give plenty of money to charity now. It is 15 minutes later. He's at the Celtics game now. So Cookie the Lunatic, Mr. Racing, owns Johnny Rambo. I hope he wins again because he gives money away to charity every time it wins. He looks after Adrian Late's kid as much as he can. I wish there were more like him in racing. So I'll be cheering for Johnny Rambo. I don't have a great opinion on the race.
All right. So, yeah, the two favourites will duke it out according to me and GK. Both will get back, but the race is going to play out perfectly. And be interesting to see how the pattern is early at the Gold Coast because, yeah, you need a little bit of run on for those horses. In the past, it's been a bit leaderish and the inside's been on fire. Is that how do you expect the track to play GK again, or you sort of a little bit trepidation in terms of how you approach it?
Yeah, a little bit of trepidation early. Look, when we've had rail true on some of these big days at the coast, it has been an advantage to be inside. Like, there was a meeting in March. There's a couple of other meetings where it was effectively fence on fire. And, there was that, I was going to say famous, but I'll call it an infamous meeting last year where you had 800-metre horses winning 1,400-metre races because you couldn't get past the leaders. I don't think it's going to be that, but I'm always wary of this track. The rain, if we do get what's expected or more, that might cut up the inside. So, I'm playing it pretty conservative at present. Like, I'm currently thinking about a 6, but that could swing pretty wildly in either direction.
Let's have a look at race 5. It's the Ken Russell Memorial and a bit of Sydney form versus Queensland form here. $1.85 is Beedman, $4.20 Sunrays, Fabulantes, $9, Lucky Lass, $12, Better Luck Next Time, $20, and Mortal Halo is the same quote, and it's got a fair tail to this one. Beedman's the first one here. Walt, might get you to talk about this one. Strength of
I spent a bit of time on this race. I'm actually on the exacta trifecta 87 million times with the pink horse to run second. So just embrace this here. The Walt haters will really enjoy this replay, but Yeah, he just controlled the race completely. They pretty much most of them first up. The horse running second had a run. Does knock up and run close to third. But, it was his debut was very good. He was jumping 1,000 to 1,200, so it was a good effort. But as you can see, sort of had every chance controlled, and you'd expect this is a lot deeper.
The next horse we're going to have a look at here is Sunrays. And this is Kelly Schweider's horse, and it's just in the green and the white. I think it's the Peter Moran colours.
You missed all the action in this race, going forward, back,
Had a
back,
torrid
forward,
run.
forward, back. Yeah.
But still gets the job done after such a messy sort of ride and race. I thought the win was a bit better than it looked.
I remember being at the track with you actually this day, and I was absolutely spewing that it won. So I remember this race very well. Look, it was a good win. I think the horse has shown a fair bit of ability. Look, this is another race where I'm not super keen on early. I just need more information on this track. Like, they look the two to me, but I feel like I need more information about what track we get here before I sort of can really sharpen my prices.
I thought CJ off Tommy on is a good thing, and I think they'll just jump, try and cross.
1,200's interesting, fresh. There was no trial, which sort of I'm sure it jumped out or whatever, but I didn't get to see anything. It's been in 3 terrible races, even though it's been really solid wins every time. So it's a tough one to line up Sunrays, but I agree everything visually looks good about it. And even that race there, even it was messy, forward, back, they went really slow. So that sort of tends to flatter the horse that's doing a bit, not as much as it may look. So it's a tricky one. I couldn't have Beebman $1.85. It's obviously going to be anchored by J-Mac and the Go. I thought this horse, Mortal Halo, was interesting. I thought its first run was really good. I think it was a short margin, then gap behind, and then they put the blinkers on last time, and that wasn't really the issue. It just had a really tough run, and a lot went wrong. So I thought it was a complete forgive. It's a rider upgrade, and the blinkers come off, and I thought it's like 20 to 1 or something. This is the horse that I sort of went back and thought was potential value in the race. Fabulantes went pretty well in a weird race. As well on debut, it could probably improve. So, it and Sunrays, they're the 3 I thought were the horse I could entertain to back the favourite, beat the favourite, who I think is just very, very short off as I said, a pretty steady maiden, even though it won pretty easily.
What price do you think the bookies will bet Beebman? Have to get it in? Will they bet 225 or they bet 250?
Yeah, they will. They have to.
Or
and
250?
You would think they'd bet 2 to 1 with any other jockey. So, something like that, probably 5 to 4.
If Sunrays is going to go forward with Tommy on, I'll probably just have a small bet it, but I was keen to play around the favourite at the odds on quote as well. Let's have a look at race number 6. It's the Gold Coast Guineas over 1,200 metres, and Emirat is the favourite here, $4. We played the Golden Rose replay. I think it feels like we've played it 2 or 3 times, and it just keeps getting scratched, but here it pops up. $4.50 Wanneroo. In from maybe $5 there, bit about it. Editing $7, Spicy Martini $7.50, Zoo Baby $9, Silver Wedding $9, Bazusto $11, and you got Tune $12, Cosmic Fire $15, Hella Fast $19, and much better the rest. A couple of the replays we'll have a look at here. Emirat will have a look at its trial, and here it is in the red with this. I think it's like yellow spots or stars, and then the blue cap. It's that typical Waller complete inside, neck. Neck trial, but he sort of just zooms up here for 200 volt.
Yeah, it's just they drive you mad, don't they? 1,000 metre trial, just dragged her right out and let work to the line. They definitely waited the extra week. J-Mac being out last week, they've just kept him on ice for an extra week to make sure. I think they probably would have liked to change their mind how bad that race worked out last week, but they've just waited the extra week and he looks ready to go for fresh.
Spicy Martini was a little bit of an upset result here, GK. 1,000 metre horse, or 1,000 metre win here. Big baldy face with the dark blue and the red and yellow stripes, and that's Cosmic Fire to its outside. Hella Fast in behind in the orange with the purple cap. Thoughts?
I just thought this was a really strong win. Sitting OSL first up, you could say, it's only 1,000 metres or whatever, but just the way it knuckles down late, like I think that's impressive. I think Cosmic Fire, you can say, is a bit of a forgive. It obviously works there. I just don't know whether it would have got past Spicy Martini in any event. I just think that's a really great first up run for Spicy Martini. I suppose you can sort of question now against the boys, but drawing 1, if the track is playing inside, KWT is just going to be right there, and this horse has shown an ability to really fight late. So I think it's right in this race. I've taken an early pick, Spice Martini. I think it's one of the two that I want to back in the race, and the other one's Emirate.
I can sort of see it sort of posing up in a great spot, 1 inside fence, so I can see that maybe a bit of track bias will help it. But my query was out to 1200, and a horse that sort of I had to have a look at first up was Wannerua. It's had 2 trials, typical Gay style, and here it is sort of like punching 3 wide with the white and the pink sleeves, and works in the trial. And Just Party, I think, sort of bombs it late. And I think it come out and was it at Hawkesbury, Just Party, and only just got beaten by Media World.
It went like a rocket, Just Party. Yeah.
So here's Just Party zooming down the outside. But I thought this is still pretty good work. This is a couple of weeks ago. You got the Hippo on board, but just looks like a typical Gay sort of setup here. From 11, should get across, and if you go digging into his form, it's got the Autumn Glow form, Angel Capital. My only worry is that where's it going to end up? Are they trying to get into a race like the Stradbroke with his horse as a 3-year-old, or what's the plan here? But
they're always ready. It's just whether it maybe looks more like a 1,400 metre horse. If he was going to control, I'd be more excited. It's just there's all those horses coming out of the 1,000 that are going to boot up underneath him. I'm sure Timmy will
take a sit,
have a shot at trying to get across, but he could be in trouble doing that, right?
Yeah, the other horse that is drawn really well and it won the Gold Coast Guineas back in, the Magic Millions Guineas, I should say, back in January was Bozusto, and you can sort of see him just starting to idle into the race there. He was about 6th or 7th in the run and puts these away nicely.
Very strong late, wasn't he? But he trialled up in Sydney, and it looked like he's not only off a sort of shortish break from New Zealand or something.
He went huge.
He just looks like he wants 1,400 as well. To me, like even the trial, he looked like he was quite one pace, which usually scares me heading into 1,200. But you could see Josh sort of pinching runs and being strong late for sure. If again similar to that, if they overdo the tempo.
It's an interesting one too, because as you say, like I think it was that Waikato sprint over 1,400, the hit a shock form, which reads pretty well for this. He's had 2 trials since that, so he's probably done 2 well, which is a really good sign coming back from New Zealand. But if they overdid it, I still thought he could sit midfield, and he'd be super strong late. So I guess that was my query. And what did you think about that, GK? With a couple of these horses, like they're just going to be super strong at the 1,200 against a horse like Spicy Martini, and then Waller's first up, a little bit vulnerable. It's no pushover, this race, from a punter's perspective, nor just the guessing game and trying to figure out where everyone's at.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I just remember when Bozusto came up here in the summer, and I was super keen on it first up at Eagle Farm, and it just looked underdone, to be honest. Like, it looked like it needed the run. So that's sort of just held me back a little bit in terms of my confidence here. I know it's only a short break and we've had the 2 trials, but it just seems to me that it needs the run, and they seem to really build into the prep of this thing. And, second, third up, it really progresses, and it's right there. So that's one thing holding you back. There's a couple of interesting runners down the bottom that, if they make the field, are a little bit untapped. So there's a couple of mile runners there, Silver Wedding and Editing. That Silver Wedding, at least it's got an 1,100 metre run. It is under Canterbury, so that's interesting. And Editing killed them in the 1,200 metre race at Doomben. So, it's a curious race. I have sort of just thought, I think Emirate's the best horse in the race, so I'm going to have something on that. And I think Spicy Martini, if there's bias, is going to be in the right spot. So I have something on that, and that's just the way I'm going to play the race.
Yeah, well, I think free bet, I'd probably back Wannerua, and then I'd be saving Bozusto. I'd just be sick if it beat me, but this is a low confidence race for me, so I'm not chipping up at all. Walt?
Yeah, it's a bit like you said, $1.85 Beedman, because it's pretty much the same setup. Obviously, it's first up, and Beedman's won last up. But I actually thought Ember would come up a bit shorter here. Gate 4 and the way the race looks like that. I'm a huge Cosmic Fire hella fast race, but that looks like if that can't be the right form, I don't think. Definitely it's dangerous, but just to Wanneroo, if he gets across, covered it all. It's really dangerous, Wanneroo, pretty much. If it's on pace. And then, I think Editing looks very dangerous. It's just got 15 gate and around here, so the pattern's important for it. And Silver Wedding did go like a rocket, got the best run you've ever seen there, but is dangerous. And I think if Duck Egg Blue's got no rider, it might go to the midway in Sydney. It's another one I thought was dangerous. There's a little bit of depth to this race, and the pattern's really important. Emirate's the one that's got the draw that's bomb-proof, so it's the only horse I could tip early. But if you can run on, there's like Editing. I think you'll get a lot better price if it gets in the field and runs, and it looks pretty talented to me, Editing.
Yeah, and I think a wet track as well. Like it was dominant on that heavy 9. I know it wasn't really against much, but
its first start
just
too.
Looks
it
like
made a lot
tracker.
of ground at Canterbury wide, which is obviously very hard to do. Most horses having first start in a race that do that usually go on as a rule, and ran old Kimi Räikkönen to a pretty short margin, who sort of then went on with it as well. So, I think Editing's a very interesting horse to watch, probably deeper into the carnival. I don't think Saturday's likely to be his day, but he's very raw.
All right, so you can go skinny in the quaddie if you like 1 or 2, and then you might be best served to have a wide quaddie leg in that first one, just in case a couple of surprises pop up. But again, track rating and pattern will be pretty well known by then, so you might be best to bet a little bit later rather than scoop up an early price. Race 7 is the AD Hollindale Stakes over 1,800 metres, and Buckaroo's come up favourite here, Waller and J-Mac. $3 favourite, Lindemann $5.50, Elias has been the mover 11 into 7, Antino $7.50, Faulkner Park $8.50, Bois de Jont $14, Militarise $14, and Just Folk $18, Cove Leaker $19, and then Port Lockroy and Miss Jolene around the $20 or better. Mark, we'll have a look at the replay of Lindemann, Buckaroo and Faulkner Park going around in the Queen Elizabeth, and this is the Via Sistina win, obviously, but there's Lindemann in the white with the purple.
Buckaroo's coming through the middle. I just sort of want to point it out, and I'm cutting you off because it looks like it's going to win here, and it gets beat 6, so it's just really worth looking at. He's coming through in one from the outside in Mars Colours white cap, nearly running 4th now.
And just sort of knocks up whether it was, the break sort of second up, and then you got Faulkner Park in the Bennett Racing sort of racing checkers with the orange and the black, and Via's just in a different class altogether. But going to that the top of the straight, as you said before, it sort of copped that the bump from the Godolphin runner in the blue. He did look like he was going to.
I thought it bled, or it had cardiac arrhythmia, or it pulled up lame, or and there was no post race issue. So
horses can do that. Antino's the other replay we're going to have a look at here, and this was a big barrier trial. Jimmy Star's the eventual winner, and then you got Antino in the the aqua cap with the sort of the cerise black sleeves and aqua stripes with the blinkers just sort of in behind a horse like Jolly Star, and just sort of goes to make a couple of runs here and then just sort of has to weave and goes to the line pretty much hard held by the end of that. I think it was Blake Shin on it for the last 50, 100 metres. Cooled the jets there and not much to get a guide on. So it's an interesting puzzle because you've got the 2,000 back to 1,800 fresh horses versus Antino, who's coming up from 1,400 off the back of that Hong Kong preparation back up to 1,800. So plenty of speed up front. There should be good pressure with Just Folk and Bois de Jont sort of out in front. And then you've got a horse like Elias, who's trialled pretty well, typical gay trial. They all look like just trial in the exact same manner, but it's been the market mover as well. But GK, how are you going to play and attack this race from a betting perspective?
Well, I think if you watch the full replay of Queen Elizabeth, they went quick there, and I just think the tactics that Nash employed on Lindemann, he's probably likely to do the same here, where he just let some of them go, and he just sat one out, one back, or somewhere like that, and then he tried to take over heading into the straight, and they went quick there, and I know that there was a little bit of interference there on Buckaroo, and Buckaroo was only second up there. But I actually thought that Lindemann's run was better than Buckaroo. So I just think at the prices that Lindemann is a bet. I think Buckaroo's too short at present. And I also am going to have another go at Antino. That all-age stakes was a dawdle. Like, it was just Antino had no chance there. So I think this suits much better. There's going to be good tempo. We're out to 1,800 metres. They're the two I'm going to play at this stage, and I'm prepared to risk Buckaroo here. And I just think it's probably going to be overbet.
This is a doozy, and I look at the market and I just can't see where bookmakers have made a massive error. When I first looked at the market, I thought, Elias could be a big price, but then I went to the speed map, and the more I looked around, I thought, is he going to be just one run short of his top? Looking for like a Group 1 tugger or just a bigger race, and then Buckaroo, the bookies just haven't missed that at all. It's sort of the $3 quote. He's going to have a bit of a sticky map. Probably need to see him bounce back before you back him with any confidence, which sort of left the best closer if there's going to be speed on. So if I had to have one bet only in this race, it'd be probably Antino. But again, I'm so wary of these horses with that 2,000 metre Queen Elizabeth grouse form versus a horse like Antino, 3 weeks between just one 1,400 metre run off a pretty long, deep prep last time when he went over to Sha Tin early December. It's just another sticky race.
Yeah, I'm 1A in the Buckaroo fan club, and I can't. I thought it'd be $10 and it's $3.20. I can't work it out at all. I can't. And if it was $10, I'd back it, but I can't work out what's $3.20. I feel like I'm in a time warp. A dead set looked like it died the last 100 metres there. So, and he's a horse that's found the line in a Melbourne Cup. So I know they went quick and he was first, or was he second up there, wasn't he? We were all worried he's going to be half a run short, but to not finish the race off was really weird. So, yeah, I can't wait for it to beat me and whinge for about the next 3 or 4 weeks because I like nothing more than whinging. So I think Elias is the one that I think it'll go very, very, very close. Camp off him, I think wasn't quite ready for the Sydney Carnival, and then they've sort of had to hold back, and I think he's going to be a lot more forward than probably he would be in normal circumstances. So I think he's going to land in the right spot and go very, very close. I don't know what the price will do, whether you'll get a little bit better price or not. I'm not sure because they've nibbled it, isn't it? $9.50 to $8. So, yeah, Lindemann just smells to me like they've turned him into a pack. Like they've used him up, haven't they? Like their poor old Vicestina someone always goes past him every start. And I know that he found the right race last prep and sort of put him away, but and he's probably going to have to work.
Donkey.
Yeah, and he's going to have to work a little bit potentially from that gate too. It's a little bit sticky. Bois d'Argent last start, Josh is riding it, I think Ethan rode it last time, didn't he? And finally worked out the horse needs to roll and go quick, and his only chance to beat these horses to do that. So will they hold the front with it? And I think that'd play into the hands of sort of Elias camping too. So, yeah, I think Elias each way I'm going to have a decent crack at because the others have sort of just maybe even its first up a little bit vulnerable and wrong price, whatever. I just think it's sort of $10 each way. It's a great bet for a good horse that races well fresh, and he's still on the up for mine.
Antino?
I just can't have it 1,400 to 1,800. I just can't do it. It's just not the and I agree. He looks like a sort of horse that just keeps building. I love the horse. No problem with his first up run at all. I just think that second up 1,800 from 11 too. He's probably going to have to make a long run from the back. And if this track's favoured towards the inside, Elias is going to be in the right spot again, isn't it?
It's a funny one.
Militarize, is another one that's a query horse.
Yeah.
Probably the run of the race in the Doncaster for mine.
Yeah, I thought he was a sort of a knockout hope if you're going to go wide in a quaddie leg. And Blinker's first time for Faulkner Park's an interesting one. And even more interesting and maybe staggering is Annabelle's going for a 4th or 5th win in the race. And
if he drew low, Faulkner Park, it would be so easy to find. Yeah. It's just the draw for it because it was arguably going nearly as well as Vicestina right at last start. Everyone expected a jump from Vicestina and probably Faulkner Park was a little bit disappointing, but it only finished sort of on the tail of Buckaroo and just behind Lindemann as well. But it probably was a little bit, and I think that it feels a bit desperation of the blinkers. So
it's very strange.
Yeah,
very strange.
I'm not going to knock it at $14, but I couldn't back it confidently.
Look, I just don't understand blinkers going on now when the grand final's 4 weeks away. Q22 is the grand final for most of these horses. That's 12th of June. So why would we put the blinkers on now? I don't understand.
That crew does a bit of that, and I think they panic a bit off one run quite often and do a few weird things and then often revert back and then the horse sort of comes good again. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of a flinchy move.
And that's sort of the thing that just is stopping me from pulling the trigger. They just went super quick in that Queen Elizabeth race, and then you've got Antino on that complete reverse flip. So It's just so grey for me, the whole thing. And I could, as you sort of say, like you could easily think that Militarise or something just pokes its head out from literally the abyss with this race. But I think what we're starting to get a bit of a theme where we're talking everyone into these big, deep quaddies, but it could be a quaddie day and it might pay an absolute stack if you can get a couple of these buckaroos and these shorties beat. So
sounds good to me. Be
enough for me to play. Let's have a look at race number 8. It's the Bracelet. Panito's the favourite, or Panito at $5. Pleasure Artist $5.50. Meridana $6.50. $6.50 Full Howl. Heat Missile $7. Real Class $10. Amplify $12. And then you got Ella Hazel $12. A couple of replays we can have a look at here. Princess Stakes is the first one. And Pleasure Artist is scouting wide with the black and orange cap and gets skittled from old mate Taylor Marshall on Harlem Queen. Philly is sort of off and gone. And then you've got Meridana sort of doing her own
she
sort
got
of hustling and bustling.
And when she tried to get out.
Yeah, and she went sideways there, and so she finishes off okay. You got Poster Girl in there with the green and the red. You got the Godolphin horse, Panito, hitting the line with the big baldy face. And
where's the winner?
Hey?
Why is the winner not in this race?
Well, some of those, I think the horse, it's a weird one.
He does like to give them gaps
hustle,
between runs too. Old Van Dyke, doesn't he, a little bit?
Often the winners of the Princess Stakes sometimes bypass anyway, I find. And this is more like whether they're trying to qualify some of these other horses or they get the extra run in. But you'd say a horse like Pleasure Artist might need the extra run because it hasn't really been fully tested there, GK.
No, it wasn't. I actually thought it finished the race off really well there, Pleasure Artist. Like after a bump like that, I thought that was actually impressive. The way it still tried to find the line. So you just put a pen through that, right? Like it's a barrier trial. I think this is a much better race for it. I think it's right in this race now. Look, I'm happy to have something on Pleasure Artist.
Yeah, barrier 5, Tommy Berry's a much better scenario here. Can settle more forward and it's not going to be an issue. It doesn't need to be snagged. Full Howl is the other different form line that you've got us to highlight here at Canterbury, and it's in the Hermitage colours, which is the green and the red, and just didn't corner at all there. It was like a shopping trolley going around the corner there and lost several lengths, I thought, and picks itself up nicely. But what do you make of this form, Walt, with your Sydney hat on?
Very, very, very slowly run race. The winner's got a decent sort of turn of foot, nice horse on the up. I think his first prep or second prep, but it's won at least 3 or 4 this prep. It's with Mason Louis or something. It's I don't know. I thought its first up win was better than that run, I would say, but I thought it would. Its first up run was very good. Second up win was very good, and then I thought that was a drop off in fighting. Didn't go as well as I expected it to, but still a very dangerous horse.
Yeah. GK?
Oh, yeah, that's the other one for me. Look, I just the way I read that race was, given the way it was run and the way it sort of grabbed that corner there, I was just like, it's just Canterbury. Sometimes that just happens at Canterbury for me. So I'm not too concerned about that. Like, I think that there's probably a little bit more to come. Like I think that was third up, so fourth up here. I don't think there's that big a jump between that sort of race and what we're seeing here. Like, that was, I think 3 or 4 of them in that race were 3-year-olds against some of the older horses. That were camels, but they still were the older horses. So look, I'm going to back Pleasure Artist and Full Howl at this stage.
Yeah, I think I'll be with Pleasure Artist. It's had 2 unlucky runs, and then its pipe opener on for this preparation was around Matcha Latte, and that form has stacked up pretty well. So a couple unlucky runs, nice barrier. I'm sort of happy to take sort of $5.50 or $6 that's in the marketplace, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets hammered into say like more closer to $4 really. Pleasure Artist.
Yeah, why isn't it 20? Why is it so short?
Who's this?
Pleasure Artist. Like I agree that it can improve and it should run well. Like can run well, but why? It was like 12s out to 20s last start. Never got within 10 of the lead. I know it got knocked over and got beat 8, but why is it so short? I don't really understand.
I think we were tipping it on last.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Show.
I think it can improve, but why is it? I'm amazed how well founded it is already. Is surprising to me.
Yeah.
It's a horse that should be $12 into 9 or 8 or something. and can win for mine. Not one that opens up so short. I was just surprised they found it that early. But,
There's been a fair bit of Richard and Will Freedman in the press squealing about, I guess,
getting enough time for old mate.
Yeah.
It wasn't as if it was going to win, but
No.
yeah. Probably helped with the post-race when it was given absolutely none anyway, regardless, and then gave it a full excuse. But
I think I got really close, and it was a great run behind El Costello. I think it was in the Spring Champion Stakes. I think it SP'd 950 that day. So I think people are starting to, A plus B, couple of unlucky runs. And
you know what I'm getting from it? Like, it's just weird that it was so soft in betting, got well beaten with an excuse, and then comes up, close enough to favourite. It surprised me just to see that. Actually, quite a few of the prices just surprised me.
I had a clear favourite, so I'm with GK. You?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's two ways to look at that. If that's the right form or the wrong form, right? I just think Panito's looks like a camel, so that scares me. Even though it got past a few of them late, it just scares me. Like, I think the winner just had 10 on them, and I think it would beat them all up again here or run very well here. It's the only horse that could have out of the race. So Devil's Advocate penning the race to a certain degree, looking wider. I thought Eclair Awesome has been really good and winning and strong through the line. Sat outside leader, so it's adaptable, and won 2 ago, then beat up another Eclair horse that won. Did it win in Brisbane yesterday?
Yeah.
It won in Brisbane. So, it's, as you said, there's not much between these horses. Like Meridiana, these horses are coming out of maiden, so it's tricky. And then Real Class is interesting for me. I thought the run first up was good enough to be scary, and then second up, 39 days, just a horse that Waller could get to improve easily. It's definitely could measure up here without surprising. And even the horse Josh was riding, El Hazel, it's because it's a big price. Coming back from the Oaks, 28 days, sort of got rushed to the Oaks, I thought, and it got beat, 4 or 5 or something like that. It wasn't as if it was in the finish, but we're talking horses going maidens up to this, and then it's coming back from an Oaks to this grade. So I thought it could pop up, but I was sort of going, you're keeping your theme for your quaddie. Claire Awesome is the only bet I could have in the race. I could back it each way, and I missed Heat Missile completely. It's the other horse I went looking for and thought it'd be 10 or 12 to 1, and it's only $6 as well. And so if it's on pace, Heat Missile goes in, Timmy aboard instead of Reggie, wide draw. He will just completely dictate the speed and give him something to chase, and then going wide. Eclair Awesome's the only horse I could back early, throwing Real Class and Ella Hazel in the quaddie.
And that's the thing with Heat Missile drawn 15, $7. Real Class drawn 19, $10.
Well, it's exactly.
Need a lot of
Real
luck.
Class is well found. I think you'll probably get a better pricing, but it's just a very smelly horse.
Nash.
Very smelly horse.
Interesting to see how J-Mac plays the day, because he can probably get a lot of egg on your face, but we'll probably wake up on Sunday and J-Mac's just going to probably smoke the pie up 3 to 4 pairs back, and he'll probably ride 3
Who's
or 4
he on
winners.
here?
No, I'm just saying, in
general.
Yeah, in general. He's got full how here.
Yeah,
so
and he's drawn nice gates in
nice
most of
gates,
them.
so
Exactly.
he can just suck up here. But there's just so many scenarios where Nash and a couple of these, like Nash, Tim, all the regular suspects, is just going to pour it on in all of these races. And
they're much better suited to riding a track like this. If it is sort of on pace inside, that's what they're used to pretty much in Sydney most of the time.
Yeah.
And when you go to Eagle Farm, even though Timmy had a bit of luck last week, it is tricky to ride those tracks that are a bit laney, aren't they, when you don't get to ride there all the time?
Yeah, need some good rides, and it's shaping up to be just sitting in behind the speed will be a big advantage, and then I guess the barriers and the tracks, it's a bit of a mess, and that's probably why we just keep coming back to this bigger, wider quaddie than usual. Otherwise, it's just going to be a J-Macathon, and it'll pay nothing. Anyway, last one, lucky last. We got an even trickier race, I think, maybe. Race 9's the Battle of Hell. It's a 1,000-metre race. Wanda Rocks is favourite, $3.30. Noel Callow takes the ride. Economics, $5. Natuno, $7.50. Flag Hall, $8.50. Avone, $9. Super Daisy, $11. Holy Racket, $14. $16 for Hardware Lane. The Lucky Alien, $16. Superb, $17. You got Buse there, $17. A bit of a dangerous knockout, and much better the rest. Tricky one here with decent speed, and I thought Economics might be the horse here. And I thought this is a really big win with 61 kilos, and it had been beaten by Wanda Rocks the start prior, but it was 6 weeks between runs on that occasion, and now gets 3.5 kilo swing on Wanda Rocks, who's I guess the favourite there. And then you got Superb and Mighty sort of finishing off, but now gets 53.5 kilos and doesn't have to lead. Barrier 2, Jake Bayless. Hopefully leaders peel off and it can find a split, but for me, at $5, that was probably the safest way to play the race. Natuno's got probably one option to go right back, Barrier 15, so it's going to have its work cut out. Flag Hall's a bit of a query. Sure, Wanda Rocks is honest, but $3.30 with that weight swing that I mentioned to Economics. Bit of a query for me. And then horses like Hardware Lane might want more of the cut out of the track. Superb needs a little bit of luck with Emily Lang, and then Buse is a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde horse for me. So not the easiest finish for the quaddie, given it's a 1,000-metre scamper. But if I had to have one bet in the race or anchor something, it'd be Economics at the $5. I thought it was the value given the big drop from 61 kilos last start and then the weight swing to the favourite. GK?
Yeah, I don't love the race. Look, I have Wanda Rocks, clearly the favourite. It's just the bomb-proof 1,000-metre horse. 9 starts over 1,000 and it's run top 2 every time. And it could just sit there, it can lead, it can sit behind speed. You get Callow, who's probably going at something like 20% for the last 30 days. I think Wanda Rocks has to be a starting point for me. I know there's that big weight swing to Economics, but I just don't care that much about those weight swings over 1,000 meters, compared to a mile or something. So just that's not as significant for me here. There's a couple of others that are definitely interesting. Like I really like the way Natuno finished off last start, but where does it get to? It's just this horse has become a bit of a pain, to be honest. A bit of a project for Golan. Often bombs the start. It's last. How does it win? If we do get into the heavier range, maybe 7, 8 sort of territory, that certainly brings Hardware Lane into it because, once we get on these wet tracks over 1,000 meters, it can really, really fly. Look, I'll probably have 4 or 5 in the quaddie. I'm not sure if I'll actually bet in the race besides that, but I definitely have Wanda Rocks on top.
Yeah, Holy Racket's probably another one for quaddie numbers from the Curry Yard. Ex-Victorian now pops up. It's got sort of listed form and could be a big improver off a bit of a torrid run last time. Walt, have you glanced at this side of
the GK pretty much. Wanda Rocks is the starting point. I don't want to back it, but it's the starting point clearly. Natuno's got 10 lengths on him. Just probably going to be set, that sort of thing.
Last.
But then
Dead last.
This bloke Shin, after 100 metres, you might want to punch yourself in the head. He's the sort of bloke who could get it to jump, lob 3, but 3 out, 1 back, and you're just like, what? And it's over. So yeah, I think a bit like that replay, it's going to be the Flying V coming late. There's not going to be much between them. And usually the class, edge comes to the fore there. So unless, it's mad inside and you really can't run on, I think Natuno's going to run a mighty race just on class alone. But and then I agree, Hardware Lane 20-1. If the forecast is wrong and you look out the window and it's teaming down, he will firm big time.
The good thing with Natuno and I just guess B, Shin, Golan, if the conditions are saying that you can't run on, at least they'll put it in the race and they'll try something.
Well, he'll do something.
Yeah.
Even if he'll either jag it to last, go up the fence, or he'll try something. Yeah, exactly. He's there's not many better riders in the world, to be fair, in all facets.
There'll be no instructions. There'll be no instructions from stable. It'll just be, off you go, Blake. And he'll just do something.
Exactly.
Yeah, he might have to. All right, a skinnier leg maybe. Yeah, the Natuno, Wanda Rocks, Hardware Lane, if it's very wet, needs it very wet. And then Economics and Holy Racket. But I'll probably have a small bet on Economics with that weight swing in mind. All right, that's the Gold Coast card. So check out our email. We'll put a team quaddie through so you guys can follow that. Puntingform.com.au is another major sponsor of the show. That's how I do my form, and it cuts down a lot of time for me dissecting all the form. You heard me talk about the weights, really cool drop downs where you can see how horses sort of line up, and it's just takes all the guesswork and a lot of time out of it. You can easily toggle through the form links to see who's in better at the weights. Puntingform.com.au, so make sure you check it out. Walt, Gosford on Saturday. We're going to talk about that little pesky race. You're not wrapped with the card. A little bit of weather around, but...
that's the problem. It's just so much uncertainty about how it's going to play and weather and fields. We've got massive amount of horses that are going to be scratched everywhere. It's just tricky to be too excited early.
There was another couple of races like Takeover Target, but there's just too many dual noms, and it's probably a waste of time to even go through the preview, given it'll change so rapidly. There's horses nominated Gold Coast and back in Gosford as well. So this is probably the trickiest race, I'd say, almost. But let's have a look at it anyway. It's the Coast for 3 and 4 year olds. Know Thyself's the favourite, $3.70. Depth of Character, $4.20. Just a surprise that it's here. Chasing prize money, you'd assume. Marymount Buller, $7. Lady in Pink, $9. Wooten Verney, $11. Royal Supremacy, $11. Townsend, $17. Yu Wang, $17. Don't know how that's got through. Wrapped is $18. Then you got Thunderlips, $21. Vivier, $23. And Raf Attack. Only got one replay. Know Thyself is the replay. I know GK was keen on it. There it is in the... I think it's the Ladbrokes Racing Silks. It's the red with the white.
I think that's Massara's actual colours.
Or is it Massara's?
Yeah, I think it's John. I think it was Paul Massara's colours now. Yeah, right. That's his actual. So obviously we Arrowfield a lot of the time, right? But I think that's their traditional colours.
Yeah, red with the white. So decent went here. GK, you thought there was a fair bit of merit to this?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like they went pretty quick there early. Sits midfield with 61 and. Just the way it tanks up, between the 4 and the 2, that's just super impressive. And, I thought it was as strong as you could probably expect it to be with 61 on, a track that was pretty soft. And, it put them away pretty easily there. There's horses in behind there with talent like Fukavana. Look, I think if Depth of Character is here and they do go around, I'm piling into Know Thyself at 5-2. I think it's a great bet at 5-2. If Depth of Character came out and then we end up with, Know Thyself $2.50, well then I probably don't bet in the race. But Depth of Character's here, 5-2. Yeah, I want to bet.
This is Gosford's not really my track, Walt, but I thought Lady in Pink was get the plum run. 58.
Drawn to have options to do pretty much whatever it wants, and it looks like there's going to be at least a little bit of speed early.
Yeah, I thought she was decent in Adelaide, 58 kilos, probably would like a little bit more weight off versus a couple of these. And then horses that sort of gave me the ick was Royal Supremacy. I went and had a look at its trial and thought maybe it needs a little bit further than the 1,600 metres, and I was just sort of scratching my head after that 1,200 metre hit out the trial. And then a horse like Wrapped, I thought it's going pretty good, but this might be a bridge too far, and especially with on a similar sort of weight level as Know Thyself. But yeah, Depth of Character was the one where there was talk of it going to the Derby, and now all of a sudden Annabelle and Rob think, let's tackle this 1,600 metre race. It's just blown my head off.
Money. It's an interesting race. I'll nearly run nude to Gosford if Know Thyself wins. So GK and I'll be in the opposite banks here. I dead set. Bandages on, wide draw, no bullock, staying at a mile. I think it needs 2,000. That race, I could have run home quicker than them the last 200 there, and I got chafing walking around the lake with my missus yesterday. So that's not a big wrap. But I think I sort of went left field. I thought Townsend went way too quick, sat outside leader. It didn't go quick. It had chased a fast speed first up, and weird. Watch the replay. It actually comes again the last 100. It's a real try, Townsend. And if she gets control this time, I could say I was surprised. It's what is it, $16 or something? It just seems a silly price. I think Marymount Buller's just dead set, completely airborne this prep, and it's a nightmare back marker. 49 days between runs, coming back in trip. So to me, that's normally a nightmare. But it does have the turn of foot to get out of trouble here, where a lot of these horses don't. And I'm pretty much disregarding Depth of Character because I can't see it running here. If it runs, I probably have to redo the race because it wouldn't make any sense to me. But I probably have to let it beat me anyway. That win and race last start, 7-day backup, just none of it makes sense. So I'm very happy to be with Townsend and Mayor of Mount Buller here. There are query runners. Yankee won. Its last 2 wins, once it's got to 1,400, have been insane. Like they went 100 mile an hour the other day. It's that third popped out at the thing, got checked on the turn, put 5 on them and held them. It was just the things it's done its last 2 starts have been crazy. It is a dual acceptor, but it's drawn 1 here. It's dangerous. I think it'll be a price. Yu Wang looks like it's having a barrier trial, I'd say, heading up to Queensland Oaks. I think just off the back of, so you probably got to let it beat you if it runs around. But no, very happy to back Mayor of Mount Buller and Townsend here, 2 horses.
Vivier, a knockout off that Tamworth run.
Does it run a mile strong? I don't know. And what are they? They've sort of done weird things. Or they've turned it into a big dance chasing sort of horse, haven't they? I don't know.
Very odd.
Yeah, they've just got so many. He's a bit of a forgotten horse, and I don't know. It just seems like he needs a lot to go his way these days to win Vivier. So another horse I'm probably happy to let beat me.
Yeah, $23 or $26 Vivier. I don't think I love Gosford for it, but I thought it might be ready to peak because it's been in a couple of hot races, and then I just sort of jogged my memory back, and Tommy Enjack won't, and I don't know if it's Tommy or Johnny McLeod, they're big on Hellbent's not getting too far, and she's only got beaten a couple of times at very short margins to a horse like Gringotts in the big dance over a mile, carrying 53 kilos. So,
yeah. It's exactly, and it wouldn't surprise you. But
I just don't know if this is the right sort of track for a Gosford, but at $23, I was probably happy to play Vivier small.
Yeah, I'm throwing your Lady in Pink. So the top 2, and then Lady in Pink and Yankee 1, if it's in there, definitely going in the quaddie.
And GK's just going to go plonk neither self in his quaddie, and we're all pulling the coattails of depth of character.
Heading down the M1 if it lobs. So I look forward to that.
I'll have the gimbal out and I'll be recording it. And I'll be chasing.
Mate, I swear to God, I'm not even joking. I dead set got chafe walking that 4Ks yesterday. Oh my God, it'd take me 3.5 weeks to get to Gosford.
What were we doing? We're
just going for a leisurely walk. Who would have known that? I go to bowling last night, and all of a sudden I've got to find the whatever that cream is, the kids' cream. It's the best.
Bepanthen. Is that it?
No, I don't know what it's called.
Savlon. It's Bepanthen.
Is it Bepanthen? We've all got our own.
There's another one too.
One, so I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, there's that other nappy one in the grey tube. Yeah. Someone will tell us in the comment section.
These are the things you have to deal with when you're old and broken down.
The little one in the grey tub, that's actually a lot better than the Bepanthen. Because the
grey tub's the one.
Yeah, the grey tub's the one. Just can't. It doesn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Dottie will tell us in the comment section. What are his bowlers?
I'll give you a full review.
Yeah, the Bepanthen's a bit moist.
I might have to stock up if that self comes roaring down the outside.
We are looking for more sponsors. A Nappy Rash or a Nappy Cream sponsor would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd get a workout out of it. Yeah. Much more than we did from the Manscaped stuff. I never used that, but I'd definitely use it.
Morphettville. Let's go over to Morphettville. Weather looks okay, so the track should be fine there. Market for the Group 1 Goodwood quality. Set weights. Is it set weights?
Did he set weights?
Yeah, which is a weird scenario. We'll talk about it more later. $2.25 Gig Kick Reserve Bank $5.50. It's been the move in from $8.50. Amenia $8.50. Charmstone $9. Generosity $11. 13 Stratton Angel. 15 Climbing Star. Watch Me Win $18. Squirrel Gripper $31. Sir Sway $35. Prairie Flower $35. And then Volcanic Express and Press Down. And that's the market. And let's have a look at Gigi Kick. This is its latest jump out. So it's had 2 at Balnarring, and pretty pokey joint Balnarring if you haven't been there. It's probably good to go to on Australia Day. I was there last one, but tight track, fine lead. You just usually win. And here he is. This is just sort of a pipe opener here. Don't think we learn a lot from it. But the horse seems to be going as good as ever. And if you listen to Rocket Douglas and Clayton, they're sort of not hearing of it getting beat whatsoever. So pokey, tiny little straight, loving his work there. And I see Nick Borden come out during the week and say they're going to have an innovation committee over in South Australia. And I'm keen to ask him whether they can just move the Goodwood back to a handicap race. Like I think I said it nearly ad nauseum on this show. Caulfield Cup, handicap, Melbourne Cup, handicap, Doncaster, handicap. Handicaps make racing great. Not these funny condition weighted races. And this is the trick with Giga Kick. You have a look at him here in the champion sprint. He's held up again in the red and white stripes. Nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Bellatina's there.
Level of a race here. Yeah.
Well, massive. You got Sunshine in Paris. This is Walt's favourite horse. This is a Dunny Door. He needs a different tub of stuff when he talks about her.
Yep.
Stretton Angel's there as well. But yeah, he sort of got shuffled back and was given no real chance, but still hits the line as good as ever. There's Bella Nipotina. And here he is, GK, 54.5 kilos. Like, I'm in your chat room and you haven't stopped talking about it for a fortnight.
Oh, yeah, just like all of this nonsense, like first up, that run at Flemington, these jump outs in wherever the fuck that is. I don't care about any of that crap. That's all irrelevant to me. Look, the way I price these types of races, and I did it the same for Pride of Jenny last week, is for me, this is just a coin flip. If it's anywhere near its best, it wins. So I've got Giga Kick $1.85 and you know, it seems like the lads traders and a few others just want to keep pushing it and keep taking it on. And, you know, for me, I've already bet. And if they get out to $2.50, I'll bet again. I just, you know, there's a lot of narratives out there. There was last week for Jenny and there is again this week where, look, I don't know what to say. For me, it's just an easy bet. Like, you know, there's bits and pieces in this race that, you know, we can point to, but I actually like the draw for Giga Kick. You know, like it's not going to get in any trouble and it's just going to tank up. So it's an easy bet for me.
M Zara Barrier 12. I completely agree. I went digging just to try and turn over every possible stone, and Armenia in the Group 1 Sangster 2 weeks ago was the only stone that I could sort of turn over and make a big case for it. There it is in the red with the white and the blue, and then you've got Charmstone getting the clear run in the first light colours on the outside. So she wins the race, but poor old Armenia takes a long while to sort of just squirt up the last sort of 200 and hits the line really well. But Charmstone sort of already built her revs and got that momentum up. But gee, Armenia in the worst ground still does a great effort to hit the line there. So from a weights perspective, I think gets 2 kilos from that last start against Charmstone, and then was a much better finish. So I've got no doubt Armenia beats her home. So if you're looking to load up, I'd be Giga Kick and Armenia, and I think variance probably just beats you in bad luck or, you know, funny things that happen in Adelaide, because I can't work out why Reserve Bank is as 850 into 550 unless Jamie's just going to push the button and try and lead. But again, you got Squirrel Gripper, Sir Sway, and the more they overdo it, the more it's going to play into the hands of Armenia and Giga Kick. So it seems ABC 1, 2, 3 for me. Well,
what did we learn from GK's preview?
So,
let's see how well you're listening.
Tomorrow.
Coin flip, and he's betting 185. We're never betting with GK. That's what we learnt. He's betting 185 the coin flips. Jesus
robbing
Christ,
us the other way.
He's trying to rob us straight off the bat. 185 the coin flip.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm framing my markets like a corporate bookie.
It's pretty true.
The auto
the PBL tax on it.
Exactly.
Can we? I think it's how do you not get a penalty, Giga Kick, for winning the benchmark 88 Everest? Why is that? Why have we not talked about that? How has he not got a penalty? Surely poor old Amina probably got one for a Group 1 second there the other day, and he doesn't get one. You guys have covered the race. Reserve Bank the other day was a great shin ride. Everything went to plan that possibly could. That wasn't Group 1 form. This is not a Group 1 race, but it is. So Giga Kick's the only Group 1 horse in the race. Amina, arguably, and I agree, if you want to save on one, it's probably it. Well, it is it. 52.5 Yendel. Climbing Star can improve significantly. They just rode it way too close, but I don't think inside draw is probably ideal for it. It just, like GK says, if this horse is right, it just wins. It just got so much on him. It's pretty sick. So, can't add any more.
It's interesting. The auto pricing model robot syndicate, they must have, I said this to GK off air, they must have it $2.50 because that's what's dragging the price, and they must look at it barrier 12 and see it has to go back. Like that's what's forcing the price out to $2.50. It has to be, doesn't it?
Mate,
what is it?
If you can work out what drives any of the prices anymore, you're too good. You think things are going to firm, they go $4 to $9 to $6 to $10 in 10 minutes. So that's the whole fluctuation. Everything's just crazy now. There's obviously a few people that have an influence over the market. Betfair still is an influence, even though there's $3.80 there to play with most of the time. But it's just it's frustrating because you can't even get on things like Top Flucket anymore, which is you could help you mentally. You know what I mean? Because it's so you just think, oh, I'm happy to commit to this bet. I'd rather just bet early because I never know when to take a price now. But I couldn't see it. If it got to 2-1, it must be in a wheelchair.
Must be dead.
It must be in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Which the camp's telling you it's not.
Prodigy got to close to $3.
Better than that, I think. At least, yeah.
And this is a better bet than Prodigy last week.
Oh, an exact same situation as you said. It was a coin toss. If she was alive, she wins. If she wasn't, she wasn't. So you're getting whatever it is, 2-1, 9-4 a coin toss. This one, I agree, is a better betting proposition, better set up, a weaker race, and probably less variance in the. She can drop out, can't she? If she's not at her absolute best. So whereas he shouldn't.
Well, I've found out what the name of the cream is. It's Pseudo Cream.
Pseudo Cream.
And you know what I was thinking of doing? Well, GK's in Brizzy. You're at the Gold Coast. So what we're going to do is get a giant tub of Pseudo Cream and put it at Yatla Pies.
Borco, can you save me, mate? Borco,
and then if Know Thyself wins, you have to get
jump in the tub.
Hey, you have to race nude from your house to Yatla Pies for the Pseudo Cream.
That's all right. I don't mind that because at least I've got a goal post.
Kick gets beat, he's going to be steaming down the highway from Brizzy. It's a race to the giant Pseudo Cream tub, and we'll film
Absolutely
it. We'll stream
not.
it.
Absolutely.
Do I get a pie no matter what? That's a win. That's a win.
Oh.
This has gone very pear-shaped. This is actually worse than even when DK's here. I don't know what's going on here. It's GK's trumping dead. It's got to be his influence. No one else here.
It's probably a wrap. That's probably the end of the show.
We can't get any worse than that.
Racingwatch.com.au for Wall of Walt stuff. The New South Wales preview will be probably a bit late with Gosford being so tricky and the weather around. So make sure you check that out if you want 24/7 Racing New South Wales. Any free chips for anyone that signs up for an account?
What's that?
Or a food voucher?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Gyms, you can have 24 access to my gym. I've got a nice little Pilates horse that I sit next to there to stretch my back on every day. You can have access to that whenever you want it. I don't know what we're going to rebuild though. We could rebuild the dungeon. We could like 1.9 billion. I reckon I could make the dungeon look pretty good.
Oh, funny things happening in North Korea. GK at Brizzy Form Guide if you want to check him out on the tweet, and he's got prices and he's got assessments for all the Brisbane Winter Carnivals. So if you want more of the Gold Coast or his quaddie numbers or a deeper look at all of the races, make sure you check them out. But big thanks from us down here in the Gold Coast, GK, and we'll see you at Yatla Pies at 9 a.m. Monday.
Oh, I won't be there, but looking forward to the weekend. And next week we get serious. Doomben 10,000 next Saturday.
Yeah, it should be a cracker. But big deep quaddie, make sure you take one at the Gold Coast. It's going to be cracking racing, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that the weather just might miss, so we could be racing on a good three.
Oh, wow. Lock in. Back to hardware lane now, GK.
I'm actually just on Ladbrokes right now betting. So
see you guys. We'll see you next week.